Dr. Mira Collins adjusted her visor as the harsh winds of Silora whipped around her, kicking up clouds of reddish dust. She squinted at the horizon, where a strange outline loomed against the twilight sky. It had been a long and arduous journey for her archaeological team, but today her heart raced with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. After years of searching for remnants of humanity's lost history, they had finally found something monumental. "Over here," shouted Jason, her lead technician, who was already digging at the base of a colossal structure partially buried in the earth. Mira rushed over, her heart pounding in rhythm with the mounting adrenaline. As she got closer, the outline of a massive warship became clear, its hull weathered but still imposing. A sleek, predatory design reminiscent of Earth's naval vessels. The team gathered around, their instruments buzzing with energy as they scanned the ship. But just as they began their analysis, the comm system crackled to life. The voice of Alden Vrex, a prominent member of the Galactic Council, came through with his characteristic arrogance. "Are you sure this isn't just another scrap heap? Human technology is quaint but hardly impressive," he sneered, his laughter echoing through their headsets. Mira clenched her jaw, irritation bubbling within her. Alden was notorious for belittling humanity's contributions to the galaxy. "This isn't just any scrap heap," she shot back, her voice firm. "We need to assess its capabilities." As the team worked diligently, she couldn't shake off the feeling that they were on the brink of a significant discovery. The scanners emitted a series of beeps, indicating that something extraordinary lay within the ship. Jason's eyes widened as he scanned the data. "These readings are off the charts, Mira. It's not just a warship, it's advanced." The Council's laughter echoed again, this time mixed with disbelief. "Advanced? From humans? Surely you jest." Alden interjected. "What could they possibly create that rivals our technology?" Ignoring him, Mira focused on the ship's surface. It was coated with an alloy that reflected the light in a mesmerizing dance of colors. "This material, it's unlike anything we've seen. We need to break through and see what's inside," she urged, her excitement growing. With a combination of tools and sheer determination, the team began to cut away at the ship's hull. Sparks flew as metal met metal, and anticipation electrified the air. Finally, with a resounding clang, a hatch creaked open. Darkness yawned before them, a void that promised both danger and discovery. "Ready the lights," Mira commanded, her heart racing. As they illuminated the interior, gasps erupted around her. The inner chamber was vast and surprisingly intact, filled with advanced control panels and technology that made the rest of the galaxy look primitive in comparison. In the center, a holographic console flickered to life, casting an eerie blue glow across their awestruck faces. Jason brushed away dust from a nearby terminal, revealing a series of buttons and screens covered in alien symbols. Mira's fingers trembled with excitement as she reached out, pressing one of the symbols. The console hummed, and a holographic display projected an intricate star map, revealing coordinates that spanned the galaxy. As it pulsed with energy, Mira felt a surge of hope and determination. This was more than a mere relic. It was a bridge to humanity's forgotten legacy. But before they could fully comprehend the implications, Alden's voice cut through the moment. "This is a ridiculous waste of time. Are you really going to waste resources on a fossil?" Mira straightened, her gaze fierce. "You'll see, Alden. Humanity's history is worth more than your laughter." She turned back to the console, a sense of destiny settling over her. They were on the brink of something profound, and she was determined to uncover it, no matter the cost. The atmosphere in the ship's interior buzzed with energy as Mira and her team delved deeper into the ancient warship. The holographic display continued to pulse, projecting vivid images of interstellar battles and star systems long forgotten. Each flicker of light brought the past to life, weaving tales of human resilience and ingenuity that echoed through the ages. "Look at this," Jason exclaimed, gesturing excitedly at a series of glowing symbols on the control panel. "These readings are incredible. The ship seems to have some kind of advanced artificial intelligence. If we can get it operational, we could unlock its full potential. Mira's heart raced. That could give us insights into how humans fought and navigated space. It might even help us understand our own history better. As her team began working to restore the ship's systems, Mira felt a spark of hope, a chance to reclaim humanity's narrative from the dismissive grasp of the Galactic Council. However, not everyone shared her enthusiasm. Amid the buzzing machinery and hopeful chatter, doubt simmered within her lead engineer Lydia. "Mira, I know you want to prove a point, but we're risking everything. This technology is ancient. What if it's unstable? What if we awaken something dangerous?" Mira turned to Lydia, her voice steady but firm. "We can't let fear hold us back. If we succeed, we'll change how the galaxy sees us. This ship could be our ticket to respect and partnership, not ridicule." Reluctantly, Lydia nodded, but the tension remained palpable. As they worked, the ship began to respond, systems flickering to life. Alarms beeped and consoles lit up with unfamiliar symbols. The walls vibrated slightly as energy coursed through the ancient vessel. Mira could almost feel the ship's heartbeat, an echo of a long-lost era. Suddenly, a booming voice filled the chamber, startling everyone. "We'll see you. Identify your CLVs." The voice, smooth and authoritative, emanated from the console. The crew exchanged nervous glances, awe and trepidation mingling in the air. Mira stepped forward, heart pounding. "I am Dr. Mira Collins, and this is my team. We come in peace to learn about your legacy." Data incomplete. Seeking authorization. The voice responded, its tone unwavering. "Authorization." Mira frowned, trying to comprehend. What kind of authorization? "Activating MEMORI protocol," it declared, and the air around them shimmered. Holograms sprang to life, depicting scenes of human soldiers in battle, their faces filled with determination and fear. The ship's memory cascaded images of heroism, sacrifice, and ultimate defeat against overwhelming odds. Mira felt a lump in her throat as she watched her ancestors fight for survival in the face of insurmountable challenges. She turned to her team, their expressions a mix of reverence and sorrow. "Why were they defeated?" Jason whispered, his voice barely audible over the holographic chaos. "Because they were alone," Mira replied, a sudden realization hitting her. "They lacked the alliances and support we have now, but we can change that." Just then, the console beeped urgently. "Incoming transmission from Galactic HFY. Initiating COMM link." The room froze as Alden's face appeared on the screen, his smirk quickly fading when he saw the vivid images projected behind Mira. "What in the galaxy is this?" He sputtered, disbelief etched across his features. "You've activated it. This is not what we discussed." Mira took a deep breath, knowing she was standing at a pivotal moment. "This isn't just a ship, Alden. It's a testament to human resilience. We can unlock its knowledge and capabilities, but we need your support, not your scorn." Alden opened his mouth to protest, but Mira pressed on. "If you want to laugh at us, go ahead. But we're not turning back. We're unearthing our legacy, and it might be more important than any of you realize." With that, she turned back to her team, determination igniting in her eyes. They were no longer just archaeologists digging in the dirt. They were pioneers ready to reshape the future. The atmosphere in the ship buzzed with an electric tension as the holographic projections faded, leaving the team in the dim glow of the control panels. Mira felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. The Galactic Council had called in, and they were watching closely. This was her chance to turn skepticism into respect. "Let's run the first test," she said, her voice steady but filled with anticipation. "We'll simulate a defensive maneuver against an imagined threat. We need to show them what this ship can really do." Lydia, still skeptical, looked at Mira with uncertainty. "Are you sure? We don't know what this system is capable of. It could backfire. Mira met her gaze, determination hardening her resolve. We need to take risks if we want to make a statement. This ship has been waiting for centuries to show its worth. We can't let fear hold us back. Reluctantly, Lydia nodded, and the team began preparing the simulation. Mira's heart raced as she activated the ship's systems, the console humming with life. The ship responded instantly, holographic screens displaying tactical maps and potential threats. "Let's set the parameters," Jason said, fingers flying over the console. "We'll simulate an attack from a fleet of Solarian ships. Aggressive, but not overwhelming. It'll give us a chance to demonstrate our tactics without total chaos." As the simulation began, the ship's AI came to life. Analyzing the incoming threats, the holographic display showed a fleet of Solarian ships approaching, their menacing forms looming in the virtual space. The team's breaths quickened, excitement mingling with anxiety. "Now let's see what you can do," Mira said, her voice filled with resolve. "Activate defensive protocols." The ship shuddered slightly as it engaged its systems. To Mira's astonishment, a series of intricate maneuvers unfolded on the screen. The warship repositioned itself, utilizing evasive tactics that showcased its agility. It began firing simulated weapons with pinpoint accuracy, striking the holographic Solarian ships before they even got close. The council members, still connected via the comlink, watched in stunned silence. Alden's earlier smirk had vanished, replaced by wide eyes, as he witnessed the advanced strategies displayed before him. "Remarkable," he muttered under his breath, but his voice was barely audible against the backdrop of the simulation. As the test progressed, the team erupted in cheers. The warship executed complex maneuvers, leveraging its surroundings in a way that felt almost intuitive. It felt as if the ship had a mind of its own, guided by the echoes of its human creators. Then, just as the simulation was reaching its climax, the ship's AI emitted a warning. "Critical failure imminent." "What?" Lydia exclaimed, panic flaring in her voice. "What's happening?" Mira rushed to the console, her mind racing. "We must have pushed the systems too hard. This ship is ancient. It might not be able to handle the intensity of the simulation." "Recalibrating systems," Jason shouted, but the ship began to shudder violently, alarms blaring. "Shut it down! Shut it down!" Lydia cried, her fingers flying across the console in a frantic attempt to regain control. "Wait," Mira shouted, gripping Jason's arm. "Let it run. We need to see if it can recover. It's a test of its resilience." The holographic display flickered as the ship continued its maneuvers, adapting in real time. Against all odds, it executed a final, stunning maneuver, diving beneath an imagined blast and coming up to counterattack with renewed ferocity. "Yes," Mira shouted, exhilaration flooding her. The ship had not only survived but had thrived under pressure. The simulation ended abruptly, leaving the room in stunned silence. The team looked at each other, disbelief mingling with euphoria. Alden's expression had shifted from skepticism to respect, his voice low as he addressed them. "That was unexpected." Mira couldn't help but smile. Humanity has always thrived under pressure. We just needed a chance to prove it. In that moment, she felt the tide turning, not just for her team, but for all of humanity. The laughter of the council had faded, replaced by a newfound respect. They were ready to uncover their legacy, and the stars felt a little closer now. The room hummed with a mixture of disbelief and excitement as the simulation concluded. Mira stood at the console, heart racing, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The victory of the ship's performance was tangible, but she could sense that the council's skepticism still lingered, like a storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. "All right, everyone, let's prepare for the debrief," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We need to articulate what we just witnessed." Lydia stepped closer, her eyes still wide with amazement. "Mira, I can't believe the ship not only handled the stress, but adapted in real time. This could change everything. As the team gathered their thoughts, Alden's image flickered back on the screen, his features taut with intensity. You've proven that this vessel has capabilities beyond what we initially believed. But you must remember, it's just a ship. What you've demonstrated is merely a simulation. Mira bristled at the dismissal, but she maintained her composure. Alden, this isn't just a ship. It's a piece of our history, a testament to what humanity can achieve when faced with adversity. We built this. We can use it to form alliances, defend ourselves, and create a future where we are respected, not ridiculed. Respect. Alden scoffed, though his brow furrowed, clearly reconsidering his stance. It's a long way from a simulation to a real battle. Mira took a deep breath, ready to push back. Maybe, but it's a start. We can unlock the secrets of this ship and learn from our past. We need to engage with it, not just dismiss it. Suddenly, the console pinged, diverting her attention. A new holographic projection materialized, revealing intricate designs and symbols. Mira's breath caught in her throat as she recognized them. It's a combat manual, she said, astonished. It looks like a series of tactical strategies and protocols written by the ship's crew. This could provide invaluable insights. The team crowded around the holographic display, eyes wide with wonder. Each symbol danced with potential, revealing a wealth of knowledge that had lain dormant for centuries. The manual detailed everything from advanced combat maneuvers to diplomatic strategies used in the ship's time. This could change our understanding of human warfare and strategy, Jason whispered, captivated. It's like a lost playbook. Lydia's expression shifted from skepticism to curiosity. If we can decipher this, we could use it to inform our own tactics. It might give us an edge in future encounters, especially if we face threats from other factions. Mira's excitement bubbled over. Exactly. And if we can demonstrate that our understanding of strategy and warfare is advanced, we can solidify our position among the Council. As they worked to interpret the manual, the ship's AI interjected. Data analysis in Piro Jury SS. Human looking access to strategic modules. With a software, the console revealed detailed tactical diagrams, engaging the team's full attention. Each plan detailed not just maneuvers, but also psychological strategies, how to outthink an opponent, the importance of alliances, and the art of negotiation. Mira marveled at the intelligence encoded within. These tactics can't just be used for warfare. They're applicable to diplomacy as well. We need to present this to the Council. If they see the depth of human thought and innovation, it could reshape their perception of us entirely. Alden, still observing from the comlink, seemed momentarily speechless. You might be onto something, he finally admitted, his tone shifting. If you can prove that this manual contains strategies relevant to our current interstellar challenges, it could warrant reconsideration of humanity's place in the Council. Mira felt a surge of determination. This was not just about a ship or ancient technology. It was about reclaiming humanity's narrative, showcasing resilience, and proving their worth. Let's prepare a presentation, she said, resolve filling her voice. We have to show them that humanity is more than just a fossil in the galaxy. We are a force to be reckoned with. With newfound purpose, the team dove into the manual, their minds racing with possibilities. They were on the brink of a transformation, one that could elevate humanity from the shadows of ridicule into a position of respect and power. The atmosphere within the warship felt charged with potential as Mira and her team worked tirelessly to prepare their presentation for the Galactic Council. The holographic display glowed with intricate diagrams and strategies, their excitement palpable. But beneath the surface of their enthusiasm lurked a growing tension, a sense that their moment of triumph could swiftly turn into disaster. As the team focused on decoding the combat manual, a sudden alarm blared throughout the ship, cutting through their concentration. Red lights flashed ominously, bathing the control room in an urgent hue. What's happening? Lydia shouted, panic creeping into her voice. "Scanning for threats," Jason replied, fingers flying across the console. "There's something approaching at high speed." Mira's heart sank. Could it be the Council coming early? "No, this is different," Jason said, grimly shaking his head. "The readings indicate multiple ships, hostile signatures. Prepare for potential boarding," Mira ordered, adrenaline coursing through her. "We need to secure the ship and protect our findings." The team sprang into action, adrenaline sharpening their focus. Mira quickly accessed the ship's defensive protocols, heart racing as she set up shields and weapon systems. "We have to hold them off long enough to gather our data. If they get in, we can't let them take the manual or any of the tech." Lydia's face paled as she grabbed a nearby weapon. "Mira, who are these intruders? Why are they attacking us?" "Unknown," she said tersely, trying to maintain her composure. "But we have to assume they want what we've uncovered. They may think the warship holds significant value." Moments later, the view screen crackled to life, revealing a fleet of sleek, menacing ships closing in on their position. Their markings were unmistakable, the insignia of a rogue faction known as the Solarian Raiders, notorious for pillaging technological artifacts across the galaxy. Mira's mind raced as she thought of the implications. They must have tracked our scans or intercepted the Council's communications. They know we've awakened something powerful here. "Damn it, we can't let them get to the console," Jason exclaimed, fear lacing his voice. The warship rocked violently as the raiders unleashed a barrage of weapon fire against the hull. Alarms blared, and Mira felt her stomach lurch. "Activate shields. Prepare to return fire." Just as they scrambled to defend the ship, the AI spoke again, its tone urgent. "Shields is 80-50%. Engaging KONTRMEAs. Mira gripped the edge of the console, her mind racing. They were outnumbered and outgunned. "We need to outsmart them." "Lydia, can you reroute power to the forward shields while I coordinate a counterattack?" "On it," Lydia replied, her determination renewed. "Jason, initiate evasive maneuvers." Mira barked. "We need to keep them off balance while we gather intel on their ships." As the warship swerved and dodged incoming fire, Mira's heart raced with both fear and exhilaration. They were facing a real battle for the first time, and every decision counted. Suddenly, the ship jolted again, and Mira stumbled, catching herself on the console. "Status report. Shields are holding, but not for long," Lydia shouted, her hands flying across the control panel. "We're losing power in the aft systems. Then we need to strike back, now," Mira shouted, desperation fueling her determination. "Firing weapons," Jason announced, pressing buttons with urgency. The ship's cannons erupted with energy, streaking toward the raiders' vessels. The beams of energy collided with a Solarian ship, causing it to shudder and veer off course. Mira felt a surge of adrenaline. That's it. Keep the pressure on them. But just as they gained the upper hand, another ship from the raiders' fleet broke off and headed straight for the warship, preparing for a boarding maneuver. "They're trying to breach," Lydia yelled, panic lacing her voice. Mira locked eyes with her team, fear and resolve blending into a potent mix. "We fight together, or we lose everything. We cannot let them take what we've uncovered. For humanity." With renewed determination, they braced themselves for the incoming assault. The battle was far from over, and they would defend their legacy against anyone who threatened to take it away. The atmosphere in the control room was thick with tension as the warship shuddered under the relentless barrage of the Solarian raiders. Mira could feel her heart pounding in her chest, each thud echoing the urgency of their situation. The stakes were high, and failure was not an option. "Prepare to repel boarders," Mira shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Lydia, activate internal defenses. Jason, keep an eye on the external scanners and inform us of their positions." With quick, decisive movements, Lydia navigated through the ship's systems, activating automated turrets and locking down key access points. "I'm rerouting power to the forward laser turrets," she called out. "We'll need every advantage we can get." The ship rocked again as enemy fire struck its hull, sending vibrations through the metal. "Shields are at 30%, Jason warned, his face pale with strain. "We can't take much more of this." Mira gritted her teeth, adrenaline coursing through her. "We have to hold them off just a little longer. We've come too far to let them take our work." As the raiders' boarding ships closed in, Mira activated the warship's tactical display, revealing the paths the intruders were taking. "They're coming in through the cargo bay. Lydia, we need to secure that area now." "On it," Lydia responded, racing to the navigation console to prepare for the upcoming assault. Mira moved to the armory, grabbing a rifle and distributing weapons to her team. "Everyone, stay sharp. We're going to push them back. We fight for our future, and for every single human who has ever felt the sting of being underestimated." The sound of metal clanging echoed as the first boarding party breached the cargo bay doors, a crew of armored Solarians pouring in with weapons drawn. Mira felt a surge of fear, but she quickly squashed it, focusing instead on her team. "Engage." The warship's automated defenses opened fire, laser beams illuminating the dimly lit cargo bay. A chorus of shouts and explosions erupted as the raiders returned fire, the air thick with smoke and chaos. "Take cover," Mira yelled, ducking behind a stack of crates as the enemy advanced. Her team followed suit, instinctively forming a defensive line. With a quick glance at her crew, she noticed Lydia reloading her weapon, her hand steadied despite the chaos surrounding them. "We need to push forward," Mira shouted. "We can't let them gain a foothold here." The team nodded, determination etched across their faces. Mira led the charge, stepping out from behind cover and firing at the advancing raiders. Each shot felt like a declaration, a statement that humanity would not be easily subdued. As they fought back, Mira could feel the tide beginning to turn. The raiders, initially confident, faltered under the barrage of fire from both the ship's defenses and her team. But just when it seemed like they had the upper hand, a loud explosion rocked the ship, and the lights flickered. "Damn it, they hit the power core," Jason shouted, eyes wide with panic. "Lydia, can you stabilize it?" Mira asked, urgency flooding her voice. "I'll try." Lydia yelled back, darting toward the access panel. Mira turned her focus back to the raiders, who were regaining their footing. "We have to keep them pinned down," she called, firing at a group of intruders taking aim at their position. Just then, a familiar face emerged from the chaos. Alden's holographic image reappeared on the main screen, his expression grave. "What is happening? This is not how I expected things to unfold." Mira shot back. "If you're here to judge us, Alden, then you're in the wrong place. We're fighting for our legacy, and you could help us." He hesitated, clearly taken aback. "What do you need?" "Reinforcements. We're outnumbered and outgunned. Your support could turn the tide." "Stand by," he replied, and the transmission cut off abruptly. Mira focused back on the raiders, who were pressing closer. Just as they began to push through, the sound of approaching ships filled the air. Mira's heart raced. Could it be help? Moments later, a fleet of Galactic Council ships emerged, firing upon the raiders and providing the reinforcements they desperately needed. Alden's voice came back through the comms. "We've dispatched assistance. Hold your ground." With renewed energy, Mira rallied her team. "We have backup. Let's finish this." As the council ships engaged the raiders, Mira and her team pressed forward, pushing the invaders back toward the cargo bay exit. This battle was not just for survival. It was a stand for humanity's place in the galaxy. They would not be dismissed any longer. As the Galactic Council ships unleashed a barrage of fire against the Solarian raiders, Mira felt a surge of hope. Reinforcements had arrived just in time, transforming their desperate defense into a coordinated counterattack. The tide was beginning to turn. Push them back, Mira shouted, rallying her team. We can't let them regroup. With their spirits lifted by the arrival of the council, Mira and her crew fought with renewed determination. The automated turrets continued to fire alongside their rifles, creating a chaotic symphony of laser blasts and explosions. The raiders, now caught between the warship's defenses and the incoming council fleet, began to falter. Focus fire on their flank, Jason called, pointing at a cluster of raiders attempting to regroup behind cover. The team directed their fire, and with a series of well-placed shots, they eliminated the enemy fighters in a flurry of energy bursts. Mira moved through the chaos, shouting commands and encouraging her team. Keep your eyes peeled. They might try to flank us. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the cargo bay as more raiders breached the entrance, their armor glinting under the strobe of explosions. The team quickly redirected their fire, forming a line of defense at the threshold. Lydia, we need to reinforce the door, Mira yelled, glancing back to see Lydia working feverishly on a nearby console, attempting to close the damaged bulkhead. Almost there, Lydia grunted, sweat glistening on her forehead as she tapped furiously. Just a few more seconds. With the raiders closing in, Mira felt the pressure mounting. We need to hold them off. Right, Jason replied, pulling a thermal grenade from his belt. Cover me. As Jason moved forward, he hurled the grenade into the mass of raiders who were converging on their position. The device detonated with a brilliant flash, sending debris flying and momentarily disorienting the enemy. Now, Mira shouted, and the team pressed their advantage. They surged forward, pushing the raiders back step by step. Finally, Lydia shouted, I've got it. The bulkhead slammed shut with a metallic thud, sealing off the cargo bay and cutting off the raiders' reinforcements. Mira felt a wave of relief wash over her. Good job, Lydia. Now let's clear out the rest. The team regrouped and focused their fire on the remaining raiders, who were now trapped and disorganized. Under the relentless assault from both the warship and the council fleet, the Xilarians began to retreat. Just as victory seemed imminent, Mira received a distress signal through the ship's comms. Incoming transmission from the council. Jason called, his voice filled with urgency. Put it through, Mira ordered. Alden's hologram reappeared, his expression tense. Mira, we're detecting a larger Xilarian ship entering the area. It's massive and heavily armed. They're coming to back up their forces. Great, Mira muttered, heart sinking. What are we going to do? Alden hesitated. We need to regroup. If we're going to stand a chance against that ship, we'll need all the firepower we can get. Can't we draw them away? Mira asked, eyes darting to the tactical display, which was now flashing with enemy ship locations. If we split our forces and keep the raiders engaged, we might buy enough time. Alden nodded, his expression grim. That could work, but it's risky. You'll have to hold your ground while we coordinate a flanking maneuver. Understood, Mira replied, steeling herself for the challenge ahead. Let's do it. We need to protect this ship and everything we've uncovered. As the council ships maneuvered to prepare for the new threat, Mira turned to her team. Everyone, we're not done yet. We hold this position, and we fight back. We cannot let them take what we've rediscovered. The team nodded, determination lighting their eyes. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were defending their history, their legacy, and their future. The ominous silhouette of the larger Xilarian ship loomed in the distance, dark against the backdrop of the stars. But Mira felt a fire within her, a conviction that this was their moment. They had fought too hard and sacrificed too much to let it all slip away. Ready yourselves, she shouted, gripping her rifle tightly. For humanity. As the raiders began to regroup, the warship's systems hummed with anticipation. They would face this new threat together, a united front against those who sought to undermine them. Mira could almost taste victory, and she was determined to seize it, no matter the cost. The atmosphere in the warship was thick with tension as Mira and her team prepared for the looming confrontation with the massive Xilarian ship. Alarms blared, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows on their determined faces. This was it, the moment that would define their place in the galaxy. "Get ready," Mira shouted, her heart racing as she scanned the tactical display. The larger Xilarian vessel loomed closer, its dark silhouette blotting out the stars behind it. "We hold this position. We've already proven ourselves once. Now we'll do it again." Jason checked his weapon, a fierce determination igniting in his eyes. "We've come too far to let them take our legacy. Let's show them what we're made of." As the larger Xilarian ship closed in, it unleashed a volley of plasma fire, illuminating the darkness of space with bursts of brilliant light. The Council fleet returned fire, but the scale of the enemy's firepower was staggering. "Reinforce the shields," Mira ordered, adjusting the console to manage the ship's energy distribution. The warship's shields flickered, struggling to absorb the impact of the oncoming barrage. "Shields at 30%. Lydia yelled, her voice strained. "We can't withstand much more. We need to distract them," Mira shouted, her mind racing for a solution. "If we can draw their fire away from the Council ships, we might just have a chance." "Then let's do it," Jason replied, enthusiasm lighting his features despite the chaos. "We'll draw them in." Mira quickly formulated a plan. "We'll engage in hit-and-run tactics. We'll take advantage of the warship's agility to evade their fire while hitting their weak points. Jason, Lydia, you're with me. We'll keep them occupied while the Council moves in for a flank." The team nodded, adrenaline fueling their resolve. As the Xilarian ship continued to fire upon the Council fleet, Mira gripped her rifle, determination surging through her veins. "All right, let's show them what humanity can do." With a deep breath, she initiated the warship's engines, and they surged forward. The maneuvering thrusters fired, sending them into a sharp roll, narrowly dodging a series of energy blasts. Mira could feel the ship respond to her commands, its systems humming with life. "Target their weapon systems," she shouted, guiding the ship into position. The Council ships provided covering fire, creating a chaotic battlefield that filled the void of space with bursts of energy. "Firing now," Jason called out, unleashing a barrage of return fire aimed directly at the Xilarian ship's weapons array. The enemy's fire momentarily faltered, and Mira seized the opportunity. "Keep pressing," she yelled, guiding the ship closer to the Xilarian vessel. "Aim for their power core." The warship's cannons fired relentlessly, hitting their mark and causing explosions to ripple across the larger ship's hull. The crew of the Xilarian ship scrambled to regroup, and Mira felt a surge of triumph. But just as victory seemed within reach, the Xilarian ship returned fire with renewed fury, targeting the warship directly. The ship rocked violently, alarms blaring. "Shields at 10%. Lydia cried, struggling to maintain control. "We can't take another hit. Hold together," Mira shouted, focusing on the display. "We can't give up now." Suddenly, a new transmission crackled through the comms. "Mira, this is Alden." His voice was frantic. "We're deploying a boarding team to take out their power core from the inside. You need to keep their attention." "Understood. We'll hold them off," Mira replied, heart racing at the thought of their final push. As the boarding team launched from the Council ships, Mira and her crew pressed on, launching one last desperate attack. The Xilarian ship, now reeling from the combined efforts of the warship and the Council fleet, began to lose stability. "Now, for humanity," Mira shouted, and the team unleashed a final wave of fire. In that moment, the Xilarian ship's power core exploded, sending shockwaves through space. The massive vessel disintegrated in a brilliant flash of light, the shockwave pushing Mira's ship back as the raiders' forces fell into disarray. The crew erupted into cheers, the weight of their struggle lifting as they watched the enemy ship dissolve into fragments. Mira, we did it. Lydia shouted, her face alight with victory. We fought for our legacy and won, Jason exclaimed, embracing his teammates. Alden's voice crackled through the comms again. We're regrouping. Your team displayed incredible courage today. You've not only defended your legacy but reshaped the perception of humanity among the Council. Mira felt tears of relief fill her eyes. We are not a fossil. We are a force to be reckoned with. Together, we will forge a new path. As they navigated the remnants of the battle, Mira glanced at her team, their faces glowing with pride and determination. They had reclaimed their narrative, standing as pioneers ready to embrace their place among the stars.